Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Star Wars Power Half Hour right here on the Contingency Plan Podcast. My name is David, and unfortunately no comic book today, or comic books, as we've had a couple in our past few episodes. I actually went down to our local comic book store, and I was searching for the new Return to Vader's Castle, Issue 1. Unfortunately, our comic book store in town here doesn't seem to stock that publisher, which is what, IWD or IDW, one of the two. And so they didn't have it. And I thought about pulling up, a digital copy, but, nah, I'm good. So there's definitely more to come in the comic book world. I actually have, 3 full series that I've purchased, and at least another series that we're going to be talking about on down the road. So there's a ton to go over. I've got the Age of Rebellion and the Age of Republic comics as well, and I've got some friends that should be coming on for a couple of those issues. But I want to do those after the Age of Resistance kind of ends. So we'll be getting into those. December, we have the 4-issue Kylo comic that drop everything. Totally get into that. Let's see what else. The Star Wars Adventure comics. I didn't really think too much about those. They've been releasing for a little while. They're still releasing Star Wars Adventure. And again, same publisher as the Vader's Return to Vader's Castle. They don't sell them at my comic book store. So I had to do some creative ordering. And we'll eventually go over that too. But the main one, still kind of have a little residual cough and scratchy throat from this cold I had a couple weeks ago. I don't know how many of you sort of do that, but it's always the most annoying part. Just you'll hear me in the office because it's so dry in my office. I'll be like, need a cough drop? No, I already got one. It's cool, man. I'm not sick. I just got a cough. So, but yeah, there's a ton of stuff we still need to get into. And it's obviously, it's coming. But the one that I'm most excited about jumping into is the Vader comic that ran from 2017 to 2019. So that series, I when I knew it was coming out, I pre-ordered the first 10 issues to just, arrive at the house when they released. And I loved it. It was so good. And then I fell off. As with some things, you fall off a little bit and, it happens. And then it was over. And I was like, oh my God, how did I miss all this? So I went back and got a lot of issues, and we're going to be running through that series as well. If you like Darth Vader, or if you're interested in Darth Vader or the continuing story of Anakin before sort of, becoming the ultimate Emperor's lackey, this is a very cool series that paints a very interesting picture of the machine Darth Vader. So really looking to get into that. I know I went to our half-price bookstore a couple times, because I like to go there and pick out a couple issues, and sometimes they're cheap, sometimes they're not. Just all depends. The half price comes when you're looking at paperbacks. All the paperbacks are half price, but everything else is something. So anyway, there were 2 Vader comics, and one of them was a little goofy at times. So I'd pick through and I was like, crap, I don't know all the covers to these. I need issue 23 and 17 or whatever. Oh, this isn't the right comic. So yeah, anyway, I've got the set, and we'll definitely go through those. And I think the Darth also wants to go through those as well, because he was interested in them. And that's the hope. That's the hope. But I've got a ton of content for you guys for the half hour, and we have a ton of content for the main show. So there's just a lot to do. And like I said, once November hits, we're going to be doing some hard stops on a lot of things to talk Mandalorian, the show. We're going to, there's books. Let's see, what drops in November? Is that Resistance Reborn, and then that collector book? I think that comes out in November as well. So we've got books too, and sip of coffee. And the Resistance Reborn, I don't know if I'm going to wait on the Darth on that one, because that book has been described as a pivotal book. I was reading an article here recently that, literally said this is a pivotal book, and I am very interested to see what that is, because we got a little bit in Black Spire about, with Vimerati, the spies, right? Leia's sending out these, spies, trying to scout locations, trying to find allies, make allies. And we obviously know that there's some time that passes between The Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker. So, we're going to see, a stronger resistance at this point. They've built back up a little bit. Because if it's just the 100 or so people that survive still, First Order should have really no problem, right? So anyway, I think and I hope that this book really kind of outlines a bit of a rebuild and sort of a return to some sort of power that can hopefully oppose our First Order overlords. But I'm very excited about that book, and come heck or high water, more than likely I'm just going to read through that and do a review. I might try and get some other folks in on that too, because I know that I do have friends that will also be reading that book as well. Now, just as a bit of a stop here, let's talk about some friends. So if you are interested in other Star Wars podcasts, I have some good buddies who do some podcasts that I think you'd really enjoy. First off, one of my old friends, Mike, just started. I want to say restarted because he had a previous podcast and now he's getting back into the game. That podcast is called Flying Casual. You can find him on YouTube and whatever podcasting platform you choose. He does some quick chit chats and everything. And yeah, go listen to his stuff. Now, the other one, Hyperspace Hangout. I've talked about Hyperspace Hangout. I was on Hyperspace Hangout a couple weeks ago, and that's my good buddy Matt and Ez. And, they have a ton of different topics. It's very viewer-centric. So, submit your questions. They'll talk about them, and very, very good stuff there. Another one, Clashing Sabers. Lindsay, we met at Celebration, great person. Her and Brandon do a great main show. Don't Burn the Sacred Text is probably my favorite. They've been interviewing a lot of authors here recently, but there's also more to that channel. There's like 4 shows on it. Starships is one of them, and I'm sorry, I really apologize. There was one more. And the host of that one goes over creatures and so forth, and which he's got one of the best podcasting voices. So anyway, a couple podcasting recommendations, and they're all friends of mine. So back to what I was talking about. Just filling time, just killing time, I figured we'd also go over some news here today, just to give you that half hour that I try and promise you. One of the big stories that came out, I don't know if this came out specifically today or yesterday, but there are a lot of articles from today, introducing a new character. So Star Wars Episode 9 introduces Droid Smith, Babu Frick. And he's an interesting little mini puppet character. I guess he's cute. I don't know. But apparently, Babu is a droid smith, and apparently he can do about anything. So reprogram or modify virtually any droid regardless of security measures protecting its systems. Now, this could be important because of the C-3PO with red eyes clip. And what we're kind of getting down is that maybe Babu is a little bit behind this, because we also see the pic of C-3PO with the bowcaster and the bandolier. So we kind of joked about this on the main show, but I was like, well, hey, C-3PO has had his head on a battle droid. He was made by Anakin Skywalker. Hey, maybe he had some secret security program installed on him. I don't know. And maybe he goes nuts protecting somebody. Maybe it's because of a sentimental attachment, but because I was speculating that I think we're going to probably see somebody die in this movie. Possibly a supporting character, maybe Chewie, maybe R2. We speculated a bit on that on the main show. Not that I want to see that, but I have a feeling like we're going to lose someone in this movie. And I don't necessarily know if it's going to be a major character, but I think it's going to be a beloved character. But this kind of turns things a little bit for me, and maybe we have Babu who, I don't know, they capture C-3PO, and they reprogram him and give him a bowcaster as like a trap or something, because it sort of kind of seems like this character is maybe on the edges of the law, works among the spice runners of Kijimi. So, I mean, it seems like Babu's probably in with the wrong crowd, okay? And if that's the case, maybe the red eyes, maybe the bowcaster bandolier is just a repercussion of reprogramming, and maybe C-3PO does get his moment or something, weird moment. I don't know, maybe attacks his friends. I don't know, but it does throw in relief a little bit here. And it looks like this all came off the back of we have our Force Friday toy releases. And it seems like, or at least this article makes it seem, because I didn't really, we'll talk a little bit about Force Friday, but I'm not a huge toy collector. Even when I was a kid, I really wasn't. Although I will say I had several Star Wars Legos. Definitely had Legos. But it looks like Babu is packaged with C-3PO. So that sort of lends credence to maybe 3PO's getting into some trouble here. Hey, maybe 3PO's on the spice. We don't know. I mean, we don't know about 3PO. But maybe he gets into a little bit of trouble, gets reprogrammed. And that's why we have some packaging here, I guess. Maybe. So there's that new character. Kind of cool. Haven't released who the actor is, or actress who's going to voice this character. But it looks like a puppet, which I'm totally cool with. I love practical effects. I'm not much into the CGI. I mean, there's some amazing CGI out there, but there's something about practical effects that turn me on, baby. All right, let's talk. Let's get less creepy, and let's talk about Force Friday. So, this coming Friday, we have, which is the 4th, right? 4th, and we've got toys. We've got a pretty decent list of things here. I'm not really going to go through a lot of stuff because and don't eviscerate me for it, I'm not super duper interested. And the only reason I say that is because I just don't collect toys. I try and live as clutter-free as possible, although the clutter does sometimes creep up on me. So let's see here. Is there anything really interesting? The Funko Pops. I have 2 Funko Pops. I have a Ned Stark and I have a Cassian Andor Funko Pop. And I don't even know why I have them. I really don't. They're okay, but there's a lot of Funkos coming out. Sith Jet Trooper, interesting. Rey, Jaina, Finn, BB-8, Kylo, Rose, Zora Bliss, Poe Dameron, Lando, First Order Jet Trooper. Jet Troopers. Lieutenant Connix, Kylo, another Kylo. So, yeah, a lot of them. Dio Pop. I don't know, a Dio would be kind of cool. Little lamp droid. That might be interesting. I'm not really that interested. And then we have some of the Mandalorian character pops. Now, if there is one thing that I probably will try and pick up, Target has a couple exclusive Black Series figures. Let's see here. Well, the Mandalorian, that's the one I think if I can get one, and I'm not going to like go out at midnight or anything, probably after work, I might head to the Target that we have kind of close to where I work. And if they have a Mandalorian, I'll probably buy it. But if they don't, I'm not going to cry over it. Second Sister, Inquisitor, Sith Trooper, First Order Jet Trooper, Purge Trooper. I don't know. I might want one of those. The Purge Troopers were pretty cool. First Order Elite Stormtrooper. Yeah, so I don't know. One thing that was kind of cool here, I did read. There's Luke's helmet, because originally I think a couple years ago they did Boba Fett's helmet, if I remember correctly, or a Mandalorian helmet, or I could be misthinking that. There was they've done helmets in the past. Yeah, no, they did. They did the Boba Fett helmet, and then I think a few years ago they did another pilot's helmet, but apparently there's also supposed to be Luke's helmet, and they are actually pretty cool. Star Wars lightsaber oh, okay, yeah, okay. So I don't know. I mean, there's a couple of masks, Nerf guns. Yeah, so I think for me, I'll probably go after the Mando. If I can grab that, I'll be pretty happy, but if not, I'm not going to sweat it too much. But if there's a Mando and a Purge Trooper, listen, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And I only have one Black Series figure. I only have one, and that's a Jaina Solo. I got it at Celebration. I was looking for one. I was actually going to buy one for my brother, and I wound up getting him a custom print, which I also have. In my living room, I have two prints. They are the Millennium Falcon, one face on and then one sort of flying through space. And Brent Woodside is the artist. And I met him at Wizard World. Is that what? Yeah, Wizard World, I believe, in Columbus. And I bought one of the Falcons that time. And then at Celebration, he was set up there. Last day, I couldn't find him last day because I wanted the other one. And I bought it from him. So I have 3 of his pieces, I believe, and then I bought one for my brother too because he really liked the one that I had. So I've got those 2 hanging up. Hopefully he's out at Celebration again because I'll continue to buy pieces from him. He's a really talented artist, really cool guy too. You can go to his website. He and his wife both do custom artwork. So yeah, I got those, and then I was looking for a Qui-Gon Jinn Black Series. The unfortunate thing about Qui-Gon is it's normally, 40, 50, 60 bucks. I was trying to look, if I could have found one for 20, absolutely 100% would have bought it. But I wasn't able to find one for that cheap. And then my buddy was like, hey man, they've got Jaina. And he bought a Jaina Solo, because he's also, kind of into that. And Jaina's one of my favorite characters. She probably is my favorite character from the extended universe. I won't even trip on that. She probably is. She's a BA, really loved her storylines. So he leads me back to the booth where he bought his, and he's like, well, they might have another one. And thankfully they did. And I think it was $20. I was like, yeah, sure. So that's my only Black Series figure, character. It's in the box. It's sitting on my Star Wars shelf. Star Wars shelf, you say? Yeah, if you don't have a Star Wars shelf, what are you doing with your life? So anyway, Mando, if there's one, yeah, if it's also conveniently next to a Purge Trooper and they're okay in price, yeah, okay, I'll probably get them. But, the Black Series figures are actually pretty cool. But it's all about quality. I've never looked at a Funko Pop and said that they were super, super cool looking. I mean, some of them were okay, but it's like, I just don't get it. But the Black Series, now that is a cool lineup. And like I said, If those two are there when I go after work, I'll buy them. But if not, I'm not sweating it. It's cool. Still on the look for Qui-Gon, on the hunt for a cheap Qui-Gon, because Qui-Gon is also my favorite character. So anyway, I think that's about it for that. And, hey, let me know what you guys are looking for. Are any of you specifically targeting anything for Force Friday? Hit us up on Twitter at TC Plan Podcast. Make sure to follow us there. Let's see here. What else did I have? Oh, this was a funny article. So apparently at Galaxy's Edge, was it near the restroom? Okay. It was so somebody on a Reddit page showed a bathroom stall at Galaxy's Edge, and the photo was of gold lettering written in basic in Star Wars language. It was carved in the side of a bathroom stall, and somebody put it into like a translator. I guess that's a thing. And it says Mara Jade lives. That's what it translated out to. Mara Jade. Oh, Mara Jade. If only we could get Mara Jade in canon, that'd make me happy. I think it'd make a lot of people happy. Mara was, she was just such a strong character. She was a perfect match to Luke, who, despite being strong, could also be very reserved and could sometimes question his role, whereas Mara was more the go-getter, She was a total alpha, and she was just BA, all right? And, former hand of the Emperor. Anyway, so New Jedi Order obviously explores a lot of their relationship, and eventually their child, and it's cool. It's just cool. So a lot of folks in the Star Wars universe, Luke's been off doing a lot of things. There's a lot of speculation, hey, his raised kid or blah, 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 whose parents. I don't think we'll ever get Mara. I think you could. I think you could do it very easily. But I don't think we will. I think that's one thing that they're not going to appease. For some reason, they're really cool with letting Luke be a hermit. But I think there could be more to that. But anyway, this was confirmed as a hoax. The bathroom stall writing. Somebody took a lot of time and effort to do this, which is cool. But, confirmed it is a complete falsity. It's not real. But there's a large amount of people who would love to see Mara Jade put back in canon. She was a cool character, all right? And maybe one day we'll get her. Maybe they'll be able to work her in a book or something, but as of right now, that's a big no. So anyway, that was kind of a fun little article. Makes you think. The last thing here, it's big for Disney. So Disney and Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, they're getting in bed with 8 major advertisers. The list: Porsche, United Airlines, Samsung Mobile, Dannon, gotta get those probiotics, Bose, GE Appliances, McDonald's, and General Mills. Every movie does this. So I don't want to get crazy about it, but I did have sort of a reaction to it, I guess. You'll see in movies, especially some low budget stuff that we're just trying to round out their budget, where it's like, oh, I got this Coors Light, and the logo's always pointed towards the camera, and they're drinking real suspiciously to try and make sure you're always captured. Oh, Coca-Cola, stuff like that. The mysterious Game of Thrones Starbucks cup. Oh my God. So ad placement is obviously everywhere. Now, this isn't specifically talking about ad placement in the movies. I know that. I know. I'm just saying ads and movies and marketing is just an essential part of things. The episode 1, back when I was a kid, huge marketing adventure. I remember them plastering the faces of the characters on all the Pepsi cans, and I had them. I actually had them all for a minute, and it just that's the nature of the beast. But I just don't really think about it too often, and to see an article pop up like it's so celebratory, but it's like, listen. Don't celebrate this crap. Just do it. We know you're going to do it, but I don't care because all this is just more money into Disney's pocketbook, which is what you want to do, right? I mean, they invested $4 billion or whatever into this franchise to buy it off of George Lucas to make money. Take $4 billion, turn it into $4 trillion. That's an investment. But I don't really want to hear about this on like main articles everywhere. I don't care who you're partnering with. What are you going to do? What is Porsche going to do with Star Wars? Like the Millennium Falcon Porsche coming out in 2020. It'll do 12 parsecs. I don't know, man. Get out of here. McDonald's is always a pretty classic one. They'll leech on to everything. That's, get your little Star Wars toys. Let's go buy Happy Meals for Star Wars toys. What else did I mention there? Like Dannon, get your probiotic yogurt. They'll just slap that on the side. A lot of these they'll just slap on the side. But like GE, what's GE gonna do? What are they gonna do? General Mills, obviously, like cereals, love that crap. We'll have Star Wars Wheaties or something. Anyway. Advertising's everywhere. It's big business. It's always been big business, and I just found it odd. I don't know about you guys. I just found it odd to see this article sitting out there celebrating because we know it's the last movie, and we know that Disney is going to want to sell everything they possibly can because from here on out, the main story's gone. The Skywalker saga is supposedly done, so now they have to bank on Disney Plus, the new shows coming out, obviously Mando, the Kenobi series, whatever Rian Johnson does, whatever D&D does, whatever president of Marvel, the potential one-off thing for him. So I don't know. It just hit me in a weird way. I don't know. I don't want to hear about your advertising. I already got your advertising in Black Spire. Another sip of coffee. Got to keep that going. Got to love that. But yeah, it just struck me as odd. I'll move on. Maybe I'm just, being sensitive. I'm being sensitive. You're being sensitive, Disney making money. No, I love it. I love when businesses make money. It honestly, it makes sense. You got to make the money. So yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of it for news, I believe. But much more to come, folks. I mean, I've got, like I said, I've got like 4 full series of comics to go through, Star Wars related. Leave me suggestions. If there's anything specifically that you would like to see, make sure to let me know. Obviously, what do we have left in Age of Resistance? We've got like 1 more, right? 2 more? Good question. I'm going to have to look at that lineup. If we're done, I'm behind the times. But anyway, there's a lot more to go in new release stuff. We've got stuff in the past. We've got the main show cranking out books and current news and everything. Me and the Darth are going to continue working on that. Hopefully we'll probably have some appearances on some other shows here that we'll plug here and there. But yeah, make sure you check out our friends. Make sure you check out social media. Again, Twitter is probably the best place to go for me. I don't really mess with social media, but Twitter at TC Plan Podcast. Follow us there. That's where I post new things. You can check us out on Facebook. What it would be really cool. This is a form of engagement. Hey, let me know your Star Wars story. How did you guys get into Star Wars? Me and the Darth love to hear from that because, we have a lot of friends who love this kind of stuff too, and we talk about it. we talk about it. And, how did you get into it? How did I get into it? And it's all slightly different. So if you have a Star Wars story you want to discuss, we'll read your Star Wars story or any of your questions or anything on the main show, and we'll discuss them with you. But Facebook's a good place. You can send us a message or hit me up on Twitter or send us an email at tcplanpodcast@gmail.com if you want to leave us a little bit more long form email. But anyway, folks, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. But we'll be back with more and more content as the days, weeks, months, and years go by. Thank you very much for stopping by, and as always, may the Force be with you.